You could always start that any time, okay?
Okay.
Some of these other questions that some of these people bring up, it might be worth recording as soon as you get on the deal there, because some of these questions, some of the other people might have also that come on later.
Right.
That you guys talk about when you get on there.
I usually turn it on when someone asks a question that
I would turn it on just as soon as you get on this thing, and then basically you can always edit it out later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've always never liked calls where people are saying hello for 15 minutes. That's why I'm not turning it on.
Well, see, I can always de-edit it out. Okay.
I'll do it sooner. Okay.
Or else they can fast forward. Okay, anybody have any general questions before I start talking again?
Well, I mentioned a couple that I had been going because I've just been transcribing your Sunday's call, and that I can really look at it thoroughly that way. From what I gather, we're going to have to also do a church ballot. And
yes. I said that before.
Right. And I'm trying to figure out I went back to our writs of execution, and I got that language. I haven't figured out how to phrase it yet, but I'll work on that.
I've talked about that in the past, okay, that you have basically 3, 4, 5 trusts, possibly. If you've been moving around, you've got a trust at each different state.
Right.
And you have the national trust. If you have a DD-214, you've got a trust there. And then if you ever got baptized, you have in a lot of cases, as soon as you got your certificate of live birth, the Church of Rome was able to access those certificates of live birth that were being held in the DTC. So they had a Cesta K trust set up for those accounts.
Right.
And that's held at the St. Patrick's Trust Building in New York City.
So I just changed the language at the top to you still with the
you just change it from you use the certificate of live birth, but you add in either the baptismal certificate, if you have a church baptism certificate, put that down and just say the Church of Rome also has this in there. And then basically it's going to go to the Vicar General there at St. Patrick's Trust Building when you send that in. Fax it into them, and then you also put this notification into the guy I'm going to talk about here.
Okay, good. And then you mentioned also that if you have a selective service number, there's probably a trust there. But that's with the DD-214. Only if you have a DD-214?
Only if you had a DD. Well, I'm not sure. I would say it's only if you had a DD-214 would you have royalties and everything coming in. They may have set up an account initially if you did have a selective service number. I don't know.
But it's probably minuscule.
You don't need to worry about that. Only the ones that have the DD-214 have a certificate. Okay. You don't have a certificate just with the selective service.
Okay, number isn't enough. The certificate is necessary.
The certificate, you have to have the certificate.
Okay. Got it.
But there may be funds under a number there, but the Secret Service and everybody else out there, when they render the accounts, will take care of that.
Okay, go after it then. Got it.
Well, they will take care of it for you.
Okay. Now, you also mentioned that we faxed what we send to the state, not only to the Secretary of State, but the Attorney General and the Treasurer?
That's who I sent a copy of notification into the state level, yes.
Okay, I'll do that then. It looks like all my faxes went through to the 3 states, and I also followed up with a hard copy by ordinary mail.
Yeah. Okay. Now, anybody else have any general questions?
Yes, on the same subject. Did you say that if you're a Baptist or some other religion, the Catholics would still hold the franchise on baptism?
It's not the Catholic. It's the Church of Rome.
Oh, okay.
Weren't you brought up to know that all roads lead to Rome?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That means all churches out there end up going back to Rome. The Catholic Church, the Lutherans, the Presbyterians, the Methodists, the Jehovah's Witnesses, they all go back to Rome. All churches pay homage to the Roman synagogue.
Okay, that answers it.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Hello, Patrick. This is
the mother for a reason. Complicated, and basically, is what they try and do is they try and get everybody out here to fight against one another.
True.
That is their means of divide and conquer. Okay? To control the people. To set up this ethnic group over here. Oh, we're going to have colors against whites. We're going to have pinks against purples. We're going to have greens against whatever. Well, we can do it with all that, so let's go and let's set up the Lutherans. Let's set up the Catholics. Let's set up the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Baptists. We'll have all these different ethnic groups, or let's go with Republicans and Democrats. Let's go with skinheads and Crips and bloodsuckers. Okay? They want you to divide us and then go out and fight everybody else. Not to be brotherly love. Think about it, okay? Why in the hell are we out here fighting our damn fellow man? It's not our fellow man that basically is our enemy. It's the damn bankers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. It says there will be 44,000 damn time that are going to be able to understand this. Well, all the churches claim that they're the ones that are going to be saved, and they're the ones that are the right one. Well, hell, there's almost 1 billion Catholics out here. How can they be the right one? Couple 100 million Lutherans or Presbyterians or Methodists, whatever. How can they be the right one? That's a hell of a lot more than 144,000. It's only the ones that understand the monetary system, the real evil out here, that get out from being a debtor in the system. That is the ones that they're talking about. Okay, any other questions? Not for that topic.
Hello, Patrick. This is Kevin. I have one question.
Yeah.
Are we going to send our documents to the trustee or to the district court chief judge?
You send it to the district court chief judge, and then basically I'll tell you what to do with the trustee here shortly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kevin,
Why?
Your microphone's a bit loud, so you might want to turn it down if you can.
Okay. All right. I'll turn it down.
Okay, anybody else? How many you got on the call there, Tom?
Let me look. 23.
Okay. Well, Lisa's coming up a little. Okay. Okay, here's the deal. You get those documents into those different commercial banking officials. Okay, that chief judge is a commercial banking officer. The Secretary of State is operating in a commercial banking officer capacity. Attorney General, all of those different agencies basically are operating as commercial bankers, officers, or employees. That's why you get the runaround in their damn system. Someone's got a damn feedback mic.
Yeah, Kingfisher. I'm going to have to mute him. Okay.
Okay? You call up these phone numbers and basically get a rigmarole. You get a buffer zone to talk to these nitwits. Oh, you can't talk to the judge. Why not? Okay? Isn't he supposed to be here for the people? No, he's not. He's only there for the fictions. That's what all those items are. They're there for the trustee. Well, the trustee can't talk to them, so they don't want to talk to you. Okay? They only want to see something on paper. That's the only form that they can see in their damn commercial system. They will not recognize any other real form. Now, when you call up this other outfit, and basically, I got to thinking about this yesterday. I was already going to notify him in this process, and that was I sent something into the U.S. attorney's office, and I got to thinking, well, I need to also go to the U.S. trustee. Okay? But then I got to thinking about it. Hey, that U.S. trustee is a hell of a lot different than the U.S. attorney. Okay? That U.S. United States trustee is in a completely different building in almost all cases out here than where the U.S. attorneys are located. And the United States trustee is not located with the bankruptcy court. Why not? Here in the state of Iowa, we have the courthouse, and we have a courthouse annex. Plenty of room in that annex to throw a couple offices for the U.S. trustees in there. But they're not there. Well, the only thing you have in that courthouse complex is you have the court marshals, okay, for your court marshal, okay, the U.S. Marshals. You have the courts. You have the judges. You have the attorneys, the U.S. attorneys. Those are all commercial banking officials in that capacity. If the judges are holders of an Article 3 capacity, then they would also be able to be dealing with the de jure National Treasury Trust Bank. We have two different trust banks in this country. The National de jure or lawful Trust Bank for the Constitution. Then we have the Commercial Trust Bank, which is basically the creation of the copyrighted United States, foreign copyrighted United States out here, operating under the 14th Amendment scenario system. And it's in a state of bankruptcy for the creditors. out here. And that's what they set up you as having an account, a trust account within that trust bank. And that's under your certificate of live birth, or DD-214. And at the state level, under individual, and then you have the state agencies that are also operating in through their governmental quasi 14th Amendment governmental bankrupt system at the state level, operating through their insurance division, their insurance court system, banking system, with the Treasury and the Attorney General and the Secretary of State as that state trust banking officials. But see, that's all processed through the state insurance court system, the state bondage system. Okay? Now, at the federal level, like I said, we have the United States trustees. I don't know if any of you guys have gone through bankruptcy, but there's been a couple of us that have. We went into the bankruptcy court. We sat there. There was a U.S. attorney. There was a U.S. trustee in there. And then you had the bankruptcy judge and the other nitwit officials. Some cases you may have had one or two Secret Service, several different U.S. Marshals. And see, there is two sides to the United States Marshals. You have the court marshals, and then you have the other marshals. Okay? Out here. The ones like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the damn movie Eraser. He was not a court marshal. He was a U.S. Marshal that basically was operating in the de jure side. Well, if you have a United States trustee and you've ever gone into bankruptcy, they try and assign you a private trustee in that bankruptcy. That private trustee is not a employee of the trust banking cartel, so he can vote for you, but he's getting paid by the commercial banking system. But he's not an employee. He's not a direct employee. He's going to work, in a lot of cases, for their benefit. Well, who's there to protect your damn butt? It's the United States trustee, because he's on the de jure side. He is a trustee for the National Trust Bank. And you're getting some of your funds basically from the national deposits of tariff taxes and royalties put into your accounts. So he is there also to sort of monitor and ensure that the trust laws are enforced. He knows what the trust laws are far better than you ever will, so don't try and come in acting like you know everything. You know very little. Okay? But that U.S. trustee could vote for you and vote for your trustee. How can he do that if he's a bank official? Well, he is a national bank official. He is not a commercial bank official, and your fictional trustee is a commercial bank trustee. So that U.S. trustee could, if need be, vote for you to protect your butt. They were sitting in the courtroom there waiting for us to say one little sentence. I am appearing as the proxy, in proxy for my trustee, and by proxy vote, it is that the trustee office is terminated and vacated. Therefore, the trust has to be terminated right now. That's all we had to do is in bankruptcy court, and that would have ended the whole damn thing. They knew that I was on to this when I told them about the book of Leviticus as being the controlling document for the bankruptcy system here in this country. But I didn't know the exact words that I needed to come in. And when you look up the definitions about proxy, it says in proxy that you can vote by proxy, but a bank official or employee cannot vote your trustee in proxy. I said this on the other two calls. I reiterated that several times over. Well, then, basically, the enforcement agent that we need to have is going to be the U.S. trustee. He will stand over these commercial judges. He has more power than they do. They're fictions. We get it into their hands and see the U.S. trustees are located in the federal building here in the state of Iowa. Also in that federal building are the de jure U.S. Marshals and also the Secret Service, which is on the de jure side, and also most of the IRS, de jure IRS, that is sitting there. But see, you never knew how to go and approach the IRS in the right way. Coming in as the trustee, voting by proxy for your trustee. Stating the fact that basically that does not apply to you. Or giving them a set-off from the account, but when you understand that you're the shareholder, the source of all the funds in the commercial world, all taxes have to go back to the source. Well, if you're the source, then it has to come back to you anyway. So you really owe no taxes. It's the commercial IRS that is out here taking you into their commercial court systems, charging you this and that. But you get these notifications into these commercial banking officers, and then you go to your U.S. trustee and put the notification into them that basically your office, your trustee office for your trust has been vacated, terminated, and now the trust needs to be liquidated. Because a trust cannot operate without a trustee. And if you've ever had a private trustee, you fire them too. That's one of the key things is why they try and get a private attorney in there to represent you so that he can vote for you. And he's going to vote against you because he's getting money out of the commercial system. That's what I told you about that one public defender that basically was operating there, and he got paid $500 if he got the guy off. But if the guy went to jail, he was paid $1,750. He couldn't live with himself. He said this thing is rigged, but he didn't understand why it was rigged and what was really going on in the background. Well, it was because the courts want you as the public or private attorney for that office, for that trustee, to find him guilty so that everybody in the court system, in the commercial system, makes money. Tom tried to use one of these money orders to go down to the bank. It should have gone right through, but the bank ain't going to process these things because they're a commercial bank and they're not getting their kickback. They try and claim it's fraud, but it's not. The Secret Service, you could take it to the Secret Service and basically they will attest to it that it's not counterfeit, it's not fraud. It's valid. You have to know that. You call in the Secret Service and to do a forensic audit of that instrument if they ever try and haul you into court on that. But you should never get there to that point where we're standing right now. We're on the verge of getting right out of the system. If you need to, send it into the bankruptcy court. But also let the U.S. trustee know that you submitted that in so that he can do a follow-up and make sure that the bankruptcy court processes it. Anything you go in, basically you should copy the U.S. trustee on into the bankruptcy court so that he can help you or she can help you or whatever. You can find your U.S. trustee by going into the DOJ website and finding the trustee program, United States Trustee Program, and then you go down and you find the United States Trustee Region and District locations, either by state, by district, or by territory, and find the one that is located for your district bankruptcy court system. They should have their fax number. They should have their names of who they are, their fax numbers, and their phone numbers. And when you call up that phone number, like I did today, it asked me, who do you want to talk to? You want to talk to James? Press 1. You want to talk to Susie? Press 2. It gave their full name, okay? And I went right to their line. He wasn't in the office, so basically I was left a message for him. But it was a direct line to him. You were going to talk to the real living person, not to some buffer zone out there to cover the damn judge's ass, commercial judge's ass. Protecting those guys. Never understood why you can't talk to the judge Why you got to have the prosecutor here too? That's total bullshit. You got to think outside the box on half this stuff. Why is this going on? What is the fraud they're really pulling on the people out here? And it's all about banking and commercial banking. You don't want to even deal with these local commercial banks, if at all possible. Okay? There will be other ways around this system. And like I said, there's plenty of coffee cans out there, and basically it only takes one state to dig a little hole and put one coffee can in, and you can bury a whole bunch of coffee cans out there. You can stuff stuff away in safety places. Hell, they're still digging stuff out there in Colorado. Coins, $20 gold pieces that basically people had stored away. Miners had deposited stuck in the ground. But they died before they got back there. But people are finding that out there. Don't use the damn banks. Unless you have a real bank to go to. But these commercial banks are not real banks. They're just users of your assets. They're not a true bank in that regard. They're out there to suck as much away from you as possible. You want a depositary, and there are very few depositaries out there. But there are out there. Okay? So, you have to get your notification in to the U.S. trustees, and they will basically aid you in the enforcement of the American trust laws for the termination and liquidation of your foreign and United States and state commercial trust. That's the only ones that are going to enforce the trust termination. The judges ain't going to do it. It's the U.S. trustee. Yeah, those courts will drag it on as long as they can. Giving you one rhetoric after another. Well, you ain't done this. You ain't done that. All those court actions, if I would have gone to the U.S. trustees and told them what I was trying to do to terminate and get rid of my trustee years ago, I would have been out of the system now, and you wouldn't be listening to me, putting up with my bullshit. It's really not bullshit. More like whale shit. Okay. I think hopefully I've got my point across about who you need to go to. So, get a fax copy of that in about your termination of your trust and put it into the hands. What the hell is that old sound? Put it into the hands of the Lord and let the Lord take, I don't know, one of those old Christian thumping songs, wagon train songs, going across the country. So anyway, that's it. Open for questions now.
Okay. And we should be sending this to the chief trustee of the region, not to any of his assistants that may be closer to us. Right?
No, you send it to whoever's right there. They'll get it up the line. They're still a U.S. trustee.
Okay.
They're still on the du jour side of the fence.
Well, it turns out that my closest one is Cleveland, but that's also the head of the region, so it has both a regular trustee and an assistant.
Whatever you want to do, Tom, okay? Just
Okay.
get it into the U.S. trustee. Get the notification in there, okay?
It'll be done tomorrow.
Okay.
And if the trustees are the ones that take care of everything, do we really need to send it to the judge and the other people?
Yeah, I would. Basically, to try and wake them up.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Here's what I sent to the judge this morning, okay? Yeah, there it is. United States Chief Judge. Okay. Here's what I said in my fax to the judge this morning. Gotta love this one.
You ripped him another one, I know.
Okay. The U.S. National Trustee has been contacted to enforce the foreign and U.S. commercial jackass bar usury voting trust terminations and liquidations. Have a hell of a good day. Instead of down below under please respond ASAP, I put the black dot saying, please stay in your commercial hell where you belong.
You should have said something about impeachment. Not impeachment. What does it take? 2 votes to vote you out of your office?
Well, basically, they can stay right there in their office. Just stay out of my heaven. Okay? They're in hell. I'm going to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's what it was all about. We were supposed to be in our heaven on earth. But you have to fight for your heaven.
That's true.
Yeah, heaven ain't given over to you.
No, it isn't.
At a drop of a dime.
Well, that's a good letter.
Yeah, I like to mess with these guys. Especially on the commercial side. See, there's a key thing about this whole thing. When Bill and Lawrence and a couple others and we all, Harold, I think, down in Texas, we all went into the bankruptcy courts and we met with them. We explained what we were trying to do, but we didn't tell them that we were doing a proxy vote to terminate our trustee position. That's what they were waiting there for.
Mm-hmm.
They were sitting there. The chief judge told Bill, or the bankruptcy judge told Bill, you can do this yourself. But Bill and Lawrence didn't know what to do. Okay? I was questioned by some of the U.S. Marshals and everything about trying to intimidate or threaten the judge. I said, hell no, I wasn't doing that. I was just trying to get out of the system. Okay? And I was just quoting, and see, when we did that, all of us that did that, we have been sort of monitored in a protective status. Okay? At the federal level. Now, the local traffic tickets and stuff like that, those local nitwits and local ma and pa judges out here, commercial judges, they don't know any of this because the trustee and everything doesn't get that information about these local run-of-the-mill, run-amok outfits out here unless we inform them. But at the federal level, I mean, in my case alone, all of the stuff I have sent in to all of these commercial banking officers, call them every name under the sun almost, why haven't they come after me? Why haven't they come after me for half the stuff I've sent in about money orders and everything like that? Because basically we've been sort of marked in a protected zone within the zone.
Hmm.
They were waiting for us, and they were trying to give us the time to get the proper understanding. Not everybody out here is working against us. And like I've said before, in a lot of cases, we're our own damn worst enemies because we're out here doing all of the assumptions that they're all wrong and not that we're wrong. That's the biggest problem in this country. Everybody wants to blame everybody else but never take in on the responsibility that you may be wrong. And I have done more backtracking, more apologizing than, a whole lifetime in about the last 5, 6, 7 years. Probably about 20 lifetimes. Compared to what most people ever do of trying to apologize or to ask for forgiveness. Admit that they're wrong and try and go a different direction. That's beyond the scope of most people. Okay, any other questions?
I think it's pretty clear, Patrick.
To you? Okay, now to the other people, Tom. You don't speak for them, please.
Hey, Patrick.
Yes.
When we send a courtesy copy of the document we send it to the chief judge, when we send it to the trustee of our regent, which mine will be 17 because I'm in California, do we send a cover letter with that explaining to them this is what we want them to enforce? Because the other party, chief justice, is not complying with that particular order.
Well, basically, yeah, you tell them that basically this trust is terminated and basically it needs to be liquidated. That's all you need to say. You don't need to tell them their job.
Okay. The trust is terminated on such a... Okay, would that trust be terminated on the day you receive your estate? Your state EIN number?
Not necessarily, okay? No. It's when you basically do your vote by ballot.
Okay. I got you.
You have to have that voting ballot. That is the date that basically you've gotten rid of the trustee.
Okay. I got you. I understand.
Yeah. And see, that's what you need to put in. So you send the official into the commercial banker, okay, and then you send the notification into the trustee, and then basically now the trustee has something to work with.
Okay.
He's got the hammer over that judge because you've given the notification to the judge. Now he can go and beat up on the judge. Because, see, he is the national banker. He is working for the National Trust Bank, which is over these sub-commercial banks.
Does he
think of it in that regards, okay? You've got the main bank, and then you've got all these little minion district banks. And see, your trust was set up in a district under that 3-digit zone number. So this is a zoned federal, a bankrupt zone bank, trust bank. But it's all being held, most all the assets are being held in a depository out there in the Seton Company Trust. And see, that is a trust company, corporation, but it's a commercial trust corporation because they allow other outfits to come in and write liens and bonds against your assets that are held in Seton Company.
Can you give me a quick description of that 3-digit federal code, where I get that?
That basically, I don't know whether the list is up on the group site there or not, but basically that list has been out there, posted by, I think, one of the girls out in California or something. I've gotten it from them in the past. And the 3 digits basically is identifying your federal district that you were born in.
Right. I think I moved that file, 3-digit state codes, into the current 101 National Court of Equity directory.
Yeah. Okay, Tom.
It should be on your certificate of live birth. Now, depending on what year you were born and what state and everything you were born in, it may or may not utilize that 3-digit number. If you were born in Boston, they operate under a special numbering system. If you were born in Pennsylvania, they're operating under a 7-digit numbering system. If you were born before 1948 or 49, preferably I think it's 48, is when this 3-digit, dash 2-digit, dash 6-digit federal zoning numbering for the certificate of live birth came into place. But if you were given a certificate of live birth prior to that, it's going to have possibly a different number on there. Okay, any other questions?
Do the trustees have influence over the Church of Rome? Do they control that as well?
Oh, yes. See, the Church of Rome is a foreign operative that has been given permission to come in here as a creditor for the all-capital United States commercial bankrupt.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So they are just a creditor that has a position here, but the de jure government still has control over them. They can basically pull their green card and send them back home.
So they can round up the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they can go in there and basically they have the power. They have the U.S. Marshals to go in and see us sitting in St. Patrick's Trust Building there in New York City. And they would come in under to access the account. And see, they have to have they're utilizing our certificate of live birth. So basically, that number is being tracked by the Secret Service using the Enterprise Financial Management System. That is basically in the movie Die Hard #4, that big computer complex that basically was located at Woodlawn in Maryland, that they were trying to rip off.
So we should get that vote.
They will take care of that, yes.
Okay.
The U.S. Marshals that work for the U.S. Trustee and the Secret Service will, when you get this in there, they will process all of that stuff.
Okay.
They don't need the writs of seizure and all that.
Okay.
And we send the church one to the Vicar General, right?
You send a notification of that to the Vicar General, and I send it to the Vicar General there at New York. That's
right.
where it's going to end up at when they come and knock on the door.
Yeah, Bishop Gerald Walsh.
You can send it
Whoever.
to the Nuncium, too.
Huh?
Never heard of the Nuncium?
There's a whole bunch of stuff, religious shit, okay?
That's
Just
another.
get it to the Vicar General, okay? Just sort of like, the Vicar General is sort of like an Attorney General,
Yeah.
okay?
Division of the Black Pope.
It don't make a damn bit of whether it's black, white, pink, purple, Pope. I don't give a shit, okay? It's the Church of Rome. It's the location, okay? This foreign entity that is sitting there that has been utilizing our assets.
Just remember, Pope rhymes with dope.
Huh?
A joke. Pope rhymes with joke. I mean, the Pope rhymes with dope.
Okay.
Patrick, one quick question for you.
Yeah.
You brought up the 3-digit state code tonight.
Speak up a little.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. You brought up the 3-digit code for the state, for the like the birth certificate and the Social Security number. So where on the ballot would that number go?
You got one of those ballots up?
I sure do. I'm looking at the state one right now. I have a printed copy in front of me.
Well, basically, you have the certificate of live birth,
Okay.
right? And
Right.
then there should be a space for a number.
Okay.
Okay, that would be the registration number. That
Okay.
3-digit, 2-digit, 6-digit is your registration number for that certificate of live birth.
Okay.
That's
so under
the trust bailment.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
And then the other is the Social Security transmitting number. That is your Social Security number. And then the routing number is basically the number on the back of the Social Security card.
Okay.
And
On
see,
the
that's
social number,
also,
we have dashes, or we just leave it without the dashes?
what?
On the SSN number, do you put the dashes in, or do you leave the dashes out?
It don't make a damn bit of difference. They can take it either way. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so on like the first line, I'm sorry. For the state of, do I put the 2-digit abbreviation and then spell out the state? There's a dash and then another line. Do I spell out the name of the state?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you were saying.
Okay, at the top of the ballot, in the first section, it says for the state of. So, for example, for the state of Texas, do I put the state of TX dash TEXAS and then spell it out? U.S. Commercial Constructive Living Trust for proxy, yada, yada, yada.
State of, like in my case, State of Iowa dash Patrick Devine.
Okay.
Okay, and then U.S. Commercial what the hell? I forget what the hell I said.
Constructive.
Constructive voting trust. Okay,
Right.
as a proxy voting trust certificate of live birth. Okay.
Yes.
See, when you're saying stuff like that, you're showing that you know something. Okay, so basically, you better know and go and look up all those words that are in there. Okay, that's what I tried to send Tom those word definitions so you people would go and look them up and have them in your mind. If you don't understand these words, when they come and talk to you and you show that you're a complete idiot, I don't think they're going to give it to you.
You're damn right.
And those 2 pages, Patrick said before, you should learn them by memory so they can recite them by memory anytime.
Right.
You better know who you are.
I get
Awesome.
that.
I got a question for the group. I've got an old Social Security card. It's got no numbers on the back. Has anyone been in my state? And I want to know if I could probably just call the office and get that number that's on the back.
No, you have to apply for another card.
Okay.
Because it's old.
Yeah.
In the beginning, they
you don't need to, okay? If you don't have it, see, you're just show them the copy of that one, okay? All they need is your Social Security number.
Right.
The only reason you need to get that other one is now to operate in the commercial banking system.
Right.
But to terminate and come out of the system, you don't need that routing number.
Has anyone else had trouble? Has anyone else had trouble getting on the free conferencing tonight? I got kicked off twice.
I did too.
And you called in with your phone, or did you do the flash phone thing?
Well, first I did it on the flash phone, Tom, and I got disconnected.
Yeah. When you go to if you're having that kind of trouble, when you go to free conferencing, there's a support number there, and they're very good. If you're having trouble like that, call them, and they'll probably do some tests. Have you call in a special number and see what's going on.
So then I rebooted and tried again. It didn't work. So then I got a Magic Jack. And that worked for about a minute. Then I got no audio. So I did another reset, and now I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm back on the flash phone.
Yeah, forget Magic Jack. It's trouble.
Yeah.
But people have said that they get kicked off a flash phone. I call in through Skype, and free conferencing thinks I'm on a phone, though I'm not. And I haven't been kicked off there. I've had trouble with my Skype, sometimes with the internet going goofy, but I haven't ever gotten kicked off through the phone number.
No.
But other people say they have.
Another thing, Tom, I've been watching the Skype group, and I haven't seen any activity. Has there been anything going on there lately?
No, they're conversing tonight even. But no, not enough people are using the Skype group, and in fact, they're usually talking mostly about stuff other than the process, and I have to stop that. Yeah, it's only there. We should be talking all day long about the process. If people have questions, they should be asking them there, as well as here. And in fact, I think Patrick would prefer that we talk among ourselves and answer the questions rather than going to him all the time.
Getting enough rain up there, Patrick?
No, it's all going around us.
Oh, bummer.
I got plenty today.
North and south of us. It comes here and it sees me sitting here and decides to go either north or south.
This is the weirdest. This is the weirdest damn weather. Did you see that twin tornado in Nebraska?
Yeah.
It was on Monday. Damnedest thing I ever saw.
Well, they've had them in the past, so basically people don't understand it. They think all this weather is just all new. Well, basically when the magnetic poles of the Earth are shifting, you're going to have the weather patterns shift slightly with that too at the same time. And see, that's what's taking place is the poles are starting to shift. We're starting to go into a neutral plane to where we will not have a North Pole and a South Pole when we go into the plane of the Milky Way. We will be in a neutral state until we come out the other side of the Milky Way, and then basically the North Pole will be on the South Pole, and the South Pole, it will be migrating, the North Pole will be migrating to the South Pole, and the South Pole will be migrating to the North Pole because the North Pole always faces into the plane of the Milky Way.
We're heading into a universal detent.
We're heading into the plane of the Milky Way, okay? The elliptical pattern of the sun is in a crossing the plane and going up and over. We're coming in from the bottom of the plane or of the elliptical process right now. But see, most people can't comprehend all this stuff, and they don't see how all the houses of the zodiac all fit into place at different time frames to tell you where you are in the progression of the cycle of the sun elliptical pattern. They only can see the yearly cycle of the planet Earth going around the sun. But the sun is in an elliptical pattern going in and out of the plane of the Milky Way. Go take some other stuff, learn some other stuff out here that wasn't really taught in school.
Yeah, the main thing to grasp is the whole all the stars far away. They're fixed in space. That's what you need for your.
They're not fixed in space. They're all moving.
Yeah, but they're so far away we don't see them moving. I'm just saying
we don't see it, but basically they are constantly moving. Okay.
That's your reference point, way out there.
Well, some of the reading I've been doing, Patrick, says that it looks like tornadoes are actually caused by moving magnetic fields.
It's caused by harmonics.
Yeah.
It's electrostatic charge.
Yes, and what is basically, how do you get an electrostatic charge? Movement, harmonics, vibration.
Now,
everything operates on a rhythm, okay? And basically, you've been out of sync for a hell of a long time, so you've been operating in the wrong rhythm, okay? Enough said about this topic.
Okay.
Now, get back on the subject. What do you guys need to know anything more about to try and come out of this system?
Okay, on the birth certificate, mine says I have a district number and a registration number.
Put that down, okay? Whatever it says on there.
Just use your head.
But put a copy of that in there with the document.
It will do.
Okay?
Yeah.
They can sort that all out.
Good point.
Should we be instructing the trustee to set up our other stuff as well?
No, they will probably ask you what you want done later on. You can notify them that you have a foreign grantor trust if you want to, and that you're thinking you will probably be wanting to place your certificate of live birth, and if you got a DD-214, those certificates, because they are a lifetime certificate that is getting royalties, and like the certificate of live birth is getting tariff taxes deposited into it. Your portion of the tariff taxes.
This is so much simpler than the writs.
Well, then we had to find who the enforcement agent was that we needed to have. Well, it's the U.S. trustee, and he stands over these courts because he controls the big bank money, the real asset.
That really rings a bell when you finding that trustee. We didn't have that before, did we?
Well, he's always been there, okay? I just didn't see the power, and we always thought that he was working for the commercial government. But he's not. He's working for the de jure government.
How'd you figure that out?
Because, like I told you, that one last sentence in proxy in Anderson or Ballantyne's dictionary. It says you can vote by proxy, but a bank official, a national bank, or employee cannot vote the proxy.
Okay.
And see, if the U.S. trustee can vote by proxy for you, he cannot be an employee or an officer of the commercial trust banking system. He's got to be somebody else.
Got to be in the other one.
And he is in the national bank.
Okay.
See, that proxy only applies to the bank that the trust is involved with, or the trust bank that the certificate is involved with.
Is anybody having trouble with them coming back to us about payment?
Payment of what?
For filing your papers? Doing your vote?
Nope.
You're not, okay? You just send them in. You don't send them to the clerk of the court. You try and send them to the chief judge. You try and get them sent directly to him.
Yeah, we're not filing the case.
You send them by green card, and you make them. You don't make them to the attention to the clerk of the court. You mark them on there that this is to be sent to the chief judge.
I got it planned. I'm going to send to the Eastern Federal District here, right in St. Louis. It's the biggest courthouse the U.S. has, the Eagleton Building, and there's 6 Article III judges.
Find out who the chief judge is and send it to him. Just
right
get
on.
the notification in there, and then basically you turn around and you get the green card back from them, and now you have that. You send a copy of that green card in that they received it there to that trustee. Then he has something to work with. They have received it. They signed for it. Now the trustee can come in and stomp the living shit out of them. But you can't do it. But he can.
Sounds wonderful.
Yes. You had to find who controls the real assets.
Yeah, Chief Judge here is Kathleen Perry, a woman, pretty sure.
It don't make a difference. Just get it into them, okay?
Get that feminine touch.
You send it in by green card, certified mail, green card, and I would put restricted delivery and mark it attention to one of the judges. Okay?
I'm going to put it under seal, too.
You don't need to go quite that far, okay? Just put it on. You use the green card and the green certified mail. label. You don't use registered. You don't use express mail.
Right.
You use either one of those, and you are creating a debt out there because those express mail and registered mail are 9-digit numbers, and they are going to create a QSIP, $25,000 bond. That's the minimum.
Here's a good word for everybody to look up: special deposit. I want to have all my stuff in special deposit so nothing gets commingled with it.
It won't be if you have your foreign grantor trust. That is your special deposit trust account.
Right on.
Okay? Any other questions? Any court actions that you run into before you get completely out of here, you come in and you vote by proxy to terminate that charge. Or you vote to set the charge off. You vote for your trustee. In most cases, most of the damn charges are totally fraud. I mean, the shareholder is not the corporation. Go in and look up the definition for trust company. And I think it was in that one that basically it calls out that basically the stockholder is not the company or the corporation. The company or the corporation goes belly up. Basically, the stockholder just walks away. He just lost. But he isn't responsible for keeping the damn company afloat any longer.
Yeah, he's just a customer.
He's an owner of that company. And basically, if the company goes under, basically then he gets a whatever is liquidated out of the company paid back to him after the other creditors and everything are settled. But see, we're a preferred shareholder over that trust, so, and we're the only creditor involved with that trust in reality, so we're going to get it all. And they try and claim that we're a beneficiary, but really it's not really a necessary a beneficiary aspect that we're getting if we're getting access to our own damn property that we own outright. They've been getting all the beneficial usage of the item. They're the ones that owe the taxes. The bankers. Both the governmental bankers and the Federal Reserve foreign bankers. But see, people didn't know how to basically state that, and they didn't know who they needed to call into court to back them up. And it's the U.S. trustee.
All the sheeple are in a big mouse maze, and we're the smarter ones that go all the way to the end and get the cheese.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nope. Thanks for the special attention.
Okay.
Nice to keep in touch.
I have a question on our termination ballot. In the middle of that ballot, contact information. We got a bunch of blanks in there. What goes in there? Should be obvious, but I don't see it.
How to get a hold of yourself.
No, it's U.S. elector blank blank U.S. Electric. I presume our name goes in there?
Yeah, that's you. Put your
Okay.
information in there, okay? Whatever you want to call yourself.
Okay. So that's all our personal information.
Oh. And
Yeah,
see,
US
all of this stuff was well documented in the movie Men in Black. The U.S. trustee is Agent J and Agent K and Agent M. Those are the U.S. trustees. They're the ones that went out and zapped the things, and then basically what they do, they turned around and called in the support group to do the cleanup when they killed off an alien.
Interesting.
And who's the support group? They're U.S. Marshals and the Secret Service. They're the cleanup agents. And then half of those aliens out there, what were they? They were in a different body. A little alien inside another body. But see, that's what we're operating out here. We're inside a different body in this commercial world.
Yeah.
I'll have to
It's
watch
all
that.
been masked over in a state of fraud.
Okay, I have a question. At the top of the termination ballot for the name, would that be your name or your on your birth certificate, or your married name for female?
The name on the birth certificate, okay?
Okay.
That's what you're utilizing as the birth certificate, and then you would supply any other name changes to justify the difference in the names, like the marriage license or whatever.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, you just put in justification. That's what really you're doing, is giving them your justification of why you have the power and the right to cast this vote. What documents do you need to have to say that you're the authorized representative? Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Patrick?
Yeah.
Down on that document it says, number 1, by right of proxy vote from a trustee / bankrupt Bailey the bailor, and it says signature of proxy. Who is that? The bank?
Signature of proxy is basically the name that's on your trustee. Your all capital name, whatever. See, when they send you a bill, basically it's to the trustee. It's not to you. Okay?
Okay.
The all capital name person. That's the trustee. So that's what you put in there. And then you sign down below as the living individual, L whatever. Or if you don't want to use L, just say Mrs. whatever.
Okay.
As the living individual. Okay? The authorized representative.
The trustee is a fictional name that the government gave you at birth.
No. It was basically your name that was turned into a fictional character.
Yeah.
Okay? They didn't give you nothing. Okay? Your parents were the ones that gave you everything. The government didn't give you shit. You had a right of inheritance from Mother America, okay? Mother Earth.
Well, they gave you a dummy.
They basically allowed you to set up a dummy corporation. You didn't have your guardians and everything didn't have to apply for that certificate, but they did.
Yep.
So basically it was a trust set up for your benefit in a way to protect your asset and give you something down the road that nobody understood how to access it because they were never taught that.
Mm-hmm.
But the bankers knew that, and then the bankers used it to their benefit to use against you. It's the bankers. It's not necessarily the government. We've just got a bunch of idiots in the government.
Government's just working for the banksters. We've got the best government
and
money.
Most of them don't even understand what they're really doing. They don't know their job responsibilities. But I'll guarantee you that trustee does know his job responsibility, and he's even told us a couple guys, and basically we've jumped over him, and he turns around and jumps back at us and said, how about you doing your job? He's doing his job. We just don't see it.
Yeah, Ray, you're making a lot of noise. I know you're trying to ask a question, but your microphone's not working.
Okay. Now, what I'm now hearing is that I just got to put the Social Security number and the routing number. I can get them to do the work for that, right?
We have to do the work, okay? We order the termination. Now we have to get it into their hands, showing that we have done our job. Now they will basically help us enforce that.
Okay. Because my thing is, they won't give me, I got an old car of a Social Security, like you said, but basically no number on the back.
Okay, that's what I said earlier, okay?
Not necessary.
Yeah.
You don't need it. You just line that out, okay?
Okay.
You take that off, the routing number.
Okay.
Okay?
So I'm just not going to use the routing number.
No, you don't need that. If you don't have a routing number, then you're not going to put one there.
Right.
Okay, perfect. That's all I needed to know.
Okay.
I just started last night and I finished all the paperwork today.
Now, you better start thinking a little better than what you just showed, okay?
Yes, sir.
Because you're not showing that you understand too terribly much and you can think outside the box. You really belong inside the box if you can't think outside the box.
You know, at least act like you know what you're doing.
Okay.
Well, you better know and think outside the box, because if you continue to not think outside the box, you're still inside the box, and that's where you're going to stay. Because you will get right back into the system, and you'll probably get into the system in a lot worse condition.
Yeah, I would expect them not to make it real easy for us, so we'll have to keep our eye on the ball all the time. They may not make it real easy for us, so we have to keep our eye on the ball. No, it's not going to be easy. You have to work at this. Damn right.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
I see down the bottom of the form, we put our name in there as our personal information as U.S. elector. To the right, we sign it as U.S. elector. Is that a redundancy?
Now, you can repeat as much as you want, okay? If you don't want to put it in there, you don't have to.
Okay. I was just not cleaning up the filling out the form.
I just wanted to make it perfectly clear of who was who in this process, so that they can't claim that basically you're doing something illegal. To them, you've got to make it perfectly clear, okay? So you take the extra step and go the extra distance. Even if you have to repeat yourself several times.
I got a suggestion for everyone. It might not hurt to have your address for your hospital, birthing hospital, written down, just in case.
If you put down the certificate of live birth, send a copy of that certificate in, it will be on there.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The official state voting trust termination ballot is what we're on, right? The latest one?
Well, basically you can do the state. That goes into the second.
The question I have here is, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. In the first paragraph, you have, this includes all STA period TERs. Is that a mistake, or is that a reason, or?
All what?
You have the word state. This includes all state, but you have a period in between the word state. Is that a mistake?
Probably is.
I transcribed that doc file from the PDF. There could be mistakes.
Okay.
So if you have any questions about what's in the doc file, look at the PDF.
All right, that's the latest, the one after this one.
Well, It should be the same date, okay? Tom just transcribed it into Word, so yeah.
Well, sometimes it took me a day to get it in, depending on what time of day I got it. It may be the next day.
I'm looking at
it. You gotta give Tom a little credit here, okay? He's done a damn good job, but he's got old fingers, so cut him a little slack, okay?
I've always been a bad typer. I've always been a bad typer. I'm a good pianist, but a bad typer.
Thanks, Thomas.
We're truly grateful for all that Tom has been doing. He's doing a yeoman work and just doing a fantastic job, and we're truly grateful. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Tom, you deserve a lot of credit.
Okay.
One last question on my part. So are we still using the ballot that had more than just the 2 questions on it, the longer version? I think it was from June 6th or so.
No, you don't need to do that, but basically if you've done that already, that's no problem. You can put that in along with this if you want to. But the key thing here is basically to bring about the removal of your trustee by proxy vote.
Okay.
When you get rid of the trustee, then the trust has to be terminated.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. And see, this is all tied to the master trust account, which is the certificate of live birth. All those other state items and everything else are tied to the funding that is held under that master trust. So if you get rid of the master trust, all the little trusts have to go away too.
So that means if we have the EIN 98 number, then when we close this trust account, we should get funds transferred into the EIN number?
No, they're not going to automatically transfer, okay?
Okay.
They will ask you what you want to do with them.
Oh, okay.
But you will have your certificates put into that 98 series number that's going to be held as an individual foreign grantor trust depository account with the department or with the Treasury Department, and basically located in Philadelphia. Now, if you want the assets that they give you also deposited, you can have them turn around and you tell the U.S. Marshals when they bring that to you, or Secret Service, whoever brings it to you, in gold-backed bearer bonds, to deposit that into that account, that 98 series account, and then give you access to that account. It will be in a depository system.
Should we
and
tell
that is a hell of a lot better than a depository to where somebody else is controlling your access to it. You will have the access.
How does this sound, Patrick? I'm going to order them to set me up a foreign grantor trust, and call it Dave's Estate, which is a fiction.
You ask them, okay? You don't order them.
Okay.
Okay? If you don't have a 98 already, then you can basically have them say, okay, I want this deposited into the United States Treasury Department depository system, and I need to have an account, and they will basically set up that system for you as a foreign, possibly as a foreign grantor trust, or as a national trust, an individual account. It may not be the 98 series number, okay?
Yeah. I did a research on the passports. A national passport now, as I understand it, has a black cover. They used to use green, but they're using black now.
We don't know that for sure, okay? We're only speculating. We will find out when we get out of the system.
But that's another thing we need. That's another thing we need to ask about.
You will basically, when you come out of the system, yes. When you sit down with them, yes, you will bring up some of these questions. I need to have an identification. What am I going to be able to get?
Okay.
So
we should make a
Don't
list of
speculate on any of this. Don't try and tell them their damn job. You're now dealing with the real people out here.
You've got to be really humble.
Yes.
Can't wait to get my new Tesla car.
Okay.
Any
other questions about this? Okay, instead of rebuttals. Okay, if you want rebuttals, then I'll drop off the line here and you can just go with your rebuttals back and forth with one another. Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Sold. Okay. Good night, people.
Thank you, Patrick.
Okay.
Sweet dreams. See you on the other side.
Okay.
Good night.
Night.